Being a general manager in the NHL involves many skill sets. One of them is being able to draft future talent. The heat is on come draft day, especially if holding the number one selection. It all goes smooth and one does it right, but when one makes a mistake, it can cost a team a potential superstar. And that's what happened to one particular team in 1993 when one selection cost them a generational talent.
I'm joined by Alexandre Daigle, now of the Victoriaville Tigre.
In 1993, one player caught the eye of many NHL teams. He was nicknamed Alexander the Great and was expected to be a next French superstar. Meet Alexandre Daigle, a skilled player with the dream of being drafted first overall. He started his career playing with the Victoriaville Tigers of the QMJHL. In his two-season tenure with the Tigers, he totaled 247 points, racking up 80 goals and 167 assists. However, in those 2 seasons with Victoriaville, he'd only make the postseason once, and his team would be out by the first round. Daigle was now old enough for the NHL draft and was poised to be selected first overall. The hype for Daigle was unreal. People compared him to Steve Yzerman, Pat LaFontaine, and JOE SAKIC. However, Daigle lacked speed and struggled to produce and set up plays, but that didn't stop one team from selecting him. The Ottawa Senators just came off their inaugural season and finished with a record of 10-70-4. They were a brand new team looking for their first superstar, and going into the draft, they were granted the first overall pick. They, like other teams, had their eyes on Daigle, and something about him stood out and made the Senators want to pull the plug. Come draft day, as the Senators approached the stage, waiting to announce their selection, Daigle was about to see his dream be realized.
The Ottawa Senators welcome Alexandre Daigle.
The Senators were hoping all would plan out and that Daigle would become their next franchise player, and Daigle had the same idea. He was asked how it felt to be picked first overall, and a confident Daigle said, quote, "I'm glad I was number 1 as number 2 is never remembered." Daigle's rookie season was an impressive one. He racked up 51 points while tallying 20 goals and 31 assists. The following season, he would play in Victoriaville for 18 games, and after producing over 30 points, was called back up, but would only put up 37 points. Some didn't see it, but already Daigle was starting to fall off. After his 37-point campaign, he would only put up 17 the next season. He seemed like he was out of gas until
Power play. It's in. A Daigle shot. Score!
he once again produced 51 points. How do you go from on the verge of being called down to putting up 26 goals? Now, people begin to think maybe he was just in a slump, and Daigle was finally back to his old self. However, his disguise wore off, and after that potential comeback season, he was back producing 16 points. The disappointed Senators team decided enough was enough.
It's knifed down by Daigle off the back of the goal. On to the back, it's kept alive and spun back across station. The deflection by Daigle.
Daigle would be sent to the Flyers and took off for about a week, and he would only put up 31 points in his 2 years as a Flyer. Daigle couldn't find his swing, and everybody thought he finally fell off. He would hop from team to team until the Wild would pick up Daigle, and once again he would shock everyone. And for the third time in his career, he'd put up, guess what, another 51-point campaign. It was ridiculous, but once again, his mask wore off, as he would only put up 28 points. However, as the saying goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me too. The Wild had enough, and so did the league too. At the age of 30, Daigle would be out of the league. He was one of the NHL's most inconsistent players of all time. Just when everybody thought he'd be down, he'd come back up. For one season. Many often wondered why Daigle couldn't get past 51 points, and others why he couldn't be consistent enough to produce those 51 points every year. In the end, karma would come back to bite Daigle, and it goes all the way back to draft day, as everyone would go on to remember who number 2 was.
Pronger shot, he scores! In front, Pronger scores!